A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. A warm welcome to Aboard Masters, Brother Joe Huang, Hualien Dharma team, brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. Okay, today I would like to share Master Jiann's words of wisdom accepted by Sister Xin Qing. On diligent cultivation reveals inner beauty. Prince Siddhartha Gautama left the royal palace and witnessed the great suffering and poverty of the world. Material and financial aids may relieve hardship temporarily, yet even a nation's treasury cannot provide endless relief. He awakened to the truth that life after life, good and evil follow each being, shaped by one's own actions. Each person's karma differs, all arising through causes, conditions, and karmic results. Walking the path of cultivation with shared aspirations, religion cultivation reveals inner beauty. The beauty along your life journey and mind reflects and illuminates one another. Step by step, hand in hand, together we open the Bodhi path, extending forever the compassionate spirit of Tzu. And now let's send our prayers into the 10 directions. May the Saha land be free from disasters and peace prevails in the world. Let's sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
Okay. May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in the world. Together, we pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and total fulfillment in universal love. Now, let's expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let's all immerse ourselves in a joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing review of Wondrous Lotus Sutra, let us invite our masters to lead us in paying homage to Triple Gems. Let's pay our respect for these teachings, explanations to the Buddha and Master Jiann by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow, second bow, third bow, and a bow to our beloved abode masters who could join us today. And we have 3 sharers today, Brother Joe, Master Huang, and Brother Jiann. So before we proceed with the sharing, Sister Suching will give us the summary of last week's sharing. Over to you, Sister Suching. Cảm ơn.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me quickly share this. Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me all right, yeah? Okay, last week's one was special. Brother Joe spoke about this year, the 60th year of Buddha's Day, we beat. Our master, she stood for long on her very weary feet. Through the long ceremony, she braved the heavy physical pain to show us how to walk and how to gain. Brother Joe heard her message spoken 3 times in a row, that unity and harmony are the only way to go. When she is gone, our bond will be tested deep inside. We must stay joined together with no place to hide. To calculate winning is a loop that will always fail, like a ship lost at sea with a very taut sail. The tools of the Buddha must help the world heal, not just provide us with a much better deal. Remember the suffering that brought you to the start. Keep the original vow deep within your own true heart. Be humble and walk the group in the light, for unity keeps every dark shadow in plain sight. And we had Master Tersiu. Master Tersiu said, like goats near a fire, we walk in a round. With no clear direction, we are lost on the ground. The world is too busy and fills every modern day. Without any wisdom, we will surely lose our own way. Our life is a painting that we create every hour. Our vows are like glue for each delicate, colorful flower. Master Tersiu says the bamboo must wait for years to grow very tall after shedding many hidden woeful tears. Samadhi is a mind that stays calm through the pain, like a steady sky that is free of the rain. Mr. Pan showed this peace when his body was broken. Kindness was felt, though no words could be spoken. He knew that conditions had brought him to the state. He chose to forgive and let go of hate. True wisdom through darkness is through darkness into a very clear light, to walk through the world with a soul so bright. Lastly, Brother Eugene said, in Cambodia, the boats sail through the very deep blue to reach all the people with a heart very with a heart very true. We calculate hours at the days that we must spend, but suffering is real and we must help it end. A mother arrived with a child who began to cry under the rain tree beneath the vast of an open sky. Brother Eugene saw the pain in her young, weary face and sought to find healing in this very humble place. To pull out a tooth was a path very fast, but dignity is something that we must help to last. He chose the long road to save her young smile, to work with great care for a very long while. She came back the next day with a hope inside, no longer in fear and with nothing left to hide. The light from within is the greatest gift of all when we answer the world with a very loving call. Okay, so this is the summary. So Brother Joe spoke about the foundation, unity and harmony. Master Tasiu spoke about inner cultivation and that samadhi and wisdom. And lastly, Brother Eugene spoke about the outer action, and which is compassion and dignity. Okay, and thank you for listening. I shall stop share and hand over to Sister Wai Fong to introduce our next speaker. Over to you, Sister Wai Fong.
And then so much, Sister Su Ching, for another piece of wonderful summary. Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. We are so warm welcome again to join us today. We shall start off with Brother Joe, who will continue to share his Dharma insights with us. Brother Joe, thank you so much for joining us despite your busy schedule, knowing that you will need to leave for a meeting before 7. So truly appreciate your time. Without further delay, Brother Joe, over to you.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. And yes, as Sister Wai Fong said, that I would have to leave a little bit early to attend another meeting at 7. So apologize for the early departure. Let us continue our journey in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. And before I begin, I think I must also mention that yesterday in our reporting to Master, I think yesterday we brought forth some of the effort that we're doing in collecting the history, or the effort that we're making to make sure that we are organizing events, as well as tea parties, to collectively gather some of the efforts in keeping the history in the Teachers Association. And so yesterday we had sharing/reporting on what we're doing across Taiwan. And there were many touching stories. There were many moving stories where, when we shared to Master was very happy. And she said that we are so fortunate, that even though things happened 30 years ago, that all these, the early steps of Teachers Association, and it happened so long ago that we were not part of, yet we are fortunate to be able to hear the recounting of the stories, the repeating of the stories from the people that experienced it. So even though we did not actually were part of that story, but we were immersed in the recounting of these stories, and we were able to relive it through the other people. And so there was something indeed that was fortunate. I think that being in the situation is probably the best, but not everybody was able to be in those situations. I mean, just look at Buddha land. We heard about our effort, our work, the excitement, the dedication of the volunteers going to Nepal, going to India, and have already deep-rooted the charity work and the foreign missions work in Nepal, and slowly starting in India. But I think that not all of us were able to be part of this effort, at least directly. So what we can do is hearing these stories, recounting these stories, and taking us there, taking us to be part of this effort so that we understand it. And I think that's secondary. That's the second best thing that could happen. So we need to recognize this is a blessing when it happens, rather than just letting it go by. So I think this is something that we are seeing, and this is something that we should recognize as something that we should cherish. And so yesterday, when Master was explaining, her thoughts, and she began coughing, and she struggled to tell us amid her coughs that this is something that happens now, that when she talks and she'll begin coughing. And yesterday in the afternoon, I'm not sure if all of us were online, but in the afternoon there was the Kaohsiung online book study group. The group was here to share with Master, and Master sort of had a talk, and it was very brief. So it sort of ended early, and we could see that. I mean, for me, I think we're fortunate. We're glad that Master had to rest a bit early, but we're also confronted, and we're also seeing that this is going to be the trend. And I think that we should continue to be more, to cherish this, because Master is indeed giving us all of her life that she could. And this is something that we should definitely cherish. Okay, so moving on to today's Sutra of Infinite Meanings. I think we've been talking about the preachings, the preaching chapter 2. We've been talking about the different questions, the answer, and the answer was the one Dharma door that allowed the Bodhisattva, and also everybody, in fact, to be able to become the Buddha, to achieve Buddhahood. And the one Dharma door is called the Infinite Meanings. This is something I want to point out, is that the way that the question was asked was from the perspective of the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. So the question was asked from one of the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying that how does a Bodhisattva Mahasattva to achieve Buddhahood? So that was the question. And so naturally, the Buddha's response was, for the Bodhisattva Mahasattva to achieve Buddhahood, this is what you do. There is this Dharma door, and it's called the Infinite Meanings. That was the answer. Now, if you would imagine that one person coming to Hualien and ask Master, how does Malaysia, for example, how does Malaysia achieve, how does Malaysia do Tzu Chi? How do we bring Tzu Chi to Malaysia, for example? And so Master would answer, well, you bring Tzu Chi to Malaysia by doing this. And for people in different countries, they hear this, and then they right away think that this does not apply to them, because they're not from Malaysia. They're not in Malaysia. So it becomes that people just become disinterested, or they become disjoined from what the Buddha said at the time. However, this may be true if what the Buddha said was something that's very specific to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Or in my example, this is true if Master's response ties very closely to Malaysia itself. However, Buddha's response was actually applicable to all, even those that are not Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. So the problem is that when the question was asked, it was framed specific to the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. So when the Buddha was answering, he was just basically replying the answer with your question. So he was saying, in order for Bodhisattva Mahasattvas to achieve Buddhahood, there is this one Dhamma door called the infinite meanings. Yet the entire content actually is applicable to everybody. But however, because Buddha said this, that this was bodhisattvas, right? So if you look at the second square here, the bodhisattvas who wish to practice and learn infinite meanings should do this. So right away, if you're not a bodhisattva, you're thinking, well, this is not me, right? I do not wish to practice and learn. So this is not me. And that's the disjoint that happens, where there are these other practitioners who do not consider themselves to be bodhisattvas, and they will be thinking, well, that's not me. And so all the content is irrelevant to me. And this is where one of the fallacies that we've been thinking about, right? We think that there are all these different tracks. We think that there is this Mahayana and Theravada. We think there are different things. But in terms of the Buddha, in terms of Buddha's mind, in terms of what Buddha sees, that there is really only one path. There isn't three, there isn't two, there isn't four. There is really only one. But we ourselves divide them up into different parts. And so when the Buddha says one part, the other part thinks that this is not them. So that's why you have the Lotus Sutra that comes next, who basically addresses everybody else. So the Sutra of Infinite Meanings basically tells you all the core essential ideas, all the core concepts, all the things that everybody should know that's applicable to everybody. But because the question was framed only about the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, that everybody else do not feel that this is something that's about them. So they take it lightly, right? It's imagine if Master is talking to the medical foundation about medical foundation, then the charity foundation will be thinking, well, I'll be sitting there listening, but this is not about me. This is about them. So everybody will become disjointed, right? It's not about us. Yeah, we'll be there. We're sitting there. We'll be, paying our respect, but this is not us. So this is the same. This was the one fallacy. And so that's why in Lotus Sutra, the Buddha was very clear in pointing out that the Lotus Sutra is mainly talking to everybody else who became disjointed in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. All right. So anyway, let us continue in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. So one Dhamma door is called the Infinite Meanings. And Buddha said that first you should begin by observe all things. You should see that everything is changing, right? Everything is changing. And so you should observe very carefully. And this is what we talked about last week. You observe very carefully. You're going to see all the ins and outs. And then you're going to think that, you follow all the ins and outs. And then you're going to come to a conclusion. And you're going to follow this conclusion. And you're going to be mostly right. If you truly observe all the factors, if you truly try to understand all the causes, you are very likely to get the things right. You're going to get the things right. However, the more success that you have in getting things right, the more you're going to think that you're going to be right. And this is the downfall, right? This is the unwholesome thought that begins, because you are now beginning to think that you're always going to be right, that you're always going to get things right, and now you're beginning to predict things. And then you forget what we just talked about before, right? Previous passage, that like the nature and appearance of all things have always been empty and still. You got them right, and you think you will always get them right because you have been getting them right. And then you fall into this fallacy of thinking because you're mostly right, that you're always going to be right in the future. Well, that's not the case because things are always changing, right? So that's the fallacy, right? That's the wrong thing. And so that's going to actually take you to all kinds of sufferings. And so for countless of billions of kalpas, the ordinary beings are unable to free themselves. They are in this cycle. They learn, they observe, they are very studious, they're very good at learning. And I always said, I really believe this. Human beings as an animal were very good at picking up patterns because it allowed us to survive. You see the weather, you see the pattern. You see all the things around you, you recognize the pattern, and you follow what the pattern teaches you, right? Imagine, right? Stock market, that's pattern recognition, right? You begin to see these indices and then which index indicate what. And when this happens, you should do this. We become very good at observing the patterns, observing the factors, observing the ins and outs, and then making our decision. When we become very good at this, it becomes our downfall, right? Being successful brings forth our own downfall, and you are unable to escape this trap. And this is where bodhisattvas come in, right? They observe, and they are humble all the time. They're careful all the time to not let this success come to you. You understand, you see the things the way they are, but you also respect the very, very possibility that this could also be changing. So the bodhisattva understands this. They have this, observation. They are very humble and they self-reflect. What can I do? What should I do? And they're always keeping a room of change. They understand that even though this is what they see, even though this is how things are, that they themselves understand that it is also possible to change. It is also possible that everything would change. So Bodhisattva, Mahasattva observe the truth in this way. They observe the factors, the ins and the outs. They observe all the factors surrounding this. That's how they observe the truth. And then they respect the idea that everything changes all the time. So they respect it. So they have this sympathy. Why? Why is there sympathy? Because they see ordinary beings do the same thing, but they expect it to be the way that they observe. This is science, right? Imagine, for science, it's always the case that what you observe here in Taiwan is going to be the same that you observe in Malaysia. For example, the gravity constant is going to be the same here in Taiwan than the gravity constant that there is in Malaysia. So we become the creature of pattern. We become the creature of facts. And so because we see this as fact, if you're this, if you're this, if you're this, then you have to be this. And so we're stuck. We're stuck thinking that human beings are going to be this way, just like the gravity constant. The constant here is the same as it is there, as it is overwhere or elsewhere. And so we think that this is all going to be the same. But in our relationship, in people, in nature, in all things, this is not the case. Yet we are stuck in this, right? So the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, they observe the truth, knowing that this is very likely going to be the case because this is what we observe. But it doesn't have to, because change is always around. Change, the possibility that it's not this case, is always around the corner. Yet the ordinary beings are so delusional that we cannot see this. We are so confident in our own observation that this must be the case, that there is no wild card, that there is nothing that's going to change this. So the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, they recognize this. They see that we are trapped in our own success. They see that we are so certain in the things that we observe that we fail to recognize that things are always changing. So there is this sympathy, there is this loving kindness, compassion. They wanted to remind all the sentient beings, remind us to see that there is a possibility, very likely, things might not be the way that you predict. And our suffering comes from thinking that everything is going to be the way that we predict. Now, the way I say this, you might think that it's outrageous. We know things are changing. We don't expect it to always be the same. Well, we do. We do. We expect that when we turn on the switch, the electricity comes, right? Is there any day that when you turn on the switch, you think that it might not be electricity? No. You turn the faucet, water runs out, and you think this is expected. So when something like this don't happen the way it is, when we flip the switch, light doesn't go on. Maybe it's because it's broken. Maybe it's because somewhere along the circuit it's broken. It's the light bulb, it's the circuit, or it's just electricity. Something was wrong. And then we were hit with that. Oh, how come there's no electricity? How come the light doesn't work? And then that's the beginning of our suffering because we expect it to work. Now, do we always keep a hint of possibility that it might not work? We don't, because it became the success, the fact that it always works became our delusion that it will always work. Okay? So Bodhisattva Mahasattva, they see us. They see us as sentient beings, ordinary beings, unable to get ourselves out of this loop, thinking that what it was will always be. That's our downfall. And so they want to save us from the suffering. That's why they're teaching us things are changing. Always. Things are always changing. Believe it. It's impermanent. Yet the more success, the more times that when we flip on the switch, the light comes on, that's success. The more of this happens, the less you remember that things are impermanent. And that's where Bodhisattva comes in. And they're trying to save us. So with compassion and loving kindness, they are among people. And they're trying to tell us that if we think more about this, and we're expecting everything to work the same way that we thought that it always had worked, this is delusion. This is a fall of affliction. Yet do we agree? Do we see it? We don't. So this is going to be very hard. So you need a very strong motivation. And that's where compassion comes in. Unable to bear the suffering, unable to see the suffering of others. The strong compassion is the strong motivation for the Bodhisattvas. They understand. They know that every time that there is success, every time something works the way that you expect it to work, it's breeding. It's breeding further affliction and delusion, even though we do not see it. That's why, Master, that's why all these Bodhisattva Mahasattvas had to go among the people and remind them things are impermanent. We see it, we hear it, and we go, yeah, we understand, but we really didn't. The more success, the more things that work to our expectation, the less we become thinking that this is impermanent. Okay, so these Bodhisattva Mahasattvas deeply penetrate. They see all things for how they are. They understand that there's arising, that there's abiding, that there's changing, and then there's ceasing. So there's cessation. All these things are happening in a cycle. Maybe the things work because right now we're in the abiding phase. Eventually it's not going to work and it's going to die away. But we don't see it. Maybe because through our lifetime it has always worked, right? For children that are born after the year 2000, I think internet has become part of life. Whereas before, this wasn't it. We didn't always have roaming. We didn't always have a cell phone. But that was how people are brought up, and they think it is this way all the time, every single moment, in the future too. And so when the change hit, it will be very difficult for them to adjust. It will be difficult for me to adjust, even though we grew up in a day when there was no cell phone, there was no internet. We had to go to libraries and do our research. Even though that's how we grew up, we become too engaged in the success of everyday happenings. So the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas understand this. They see how the things arise, they see how the things abide, and they also expect things would change and things would stop. So they observe deeply how things came, how things were, and how things remain as they were, but how things transition and eventually terminate. So they're watching us through a microscope through a very long time. And then they see this progress. And this is something that we do not see. And out of their compassion, they want us to see this and recognize this so that we do not fall into the trap of our own success, thinking that this is always going to be the way it is. But it's not. So because of this, that they see this appearance of always it is, and this could give rise to evil things. But they could also give rise to virtuous things. So they see how it comes to be. They also see how things can be changed. So I think that this is something that I think is important, that we should know that this is our downfall, our own success. And so the Bodhisattvas, out of their compassion, they're trying to help us. They're trying to remedy this by reminding us. And they see this because they see how things were, how things are, and how things will be. And so they're trying to guide us so that we see the success, but we do not begin to think that this will always be the case. And so it has to come through practices all the time to recognize, to remember, to be reminded of this. And that's their role. So that's the sharing for today. And I hope that as we are moving forward, it becomes a lot more accessible. The Sutra of Infinite Meanings, even though it sounds deep, it is deep, but it's actually very down to earth to us, that it's very psychological and it's also very common sense that this is how people are. This is how we think. And therefore, the teachers, the guiding teachers, will apply what they know, the wisdoms they have, to guide us so that we do not fall into this trap, and that we will be able to get ourselves out of the trap if we're in it already. And that's what the sutra is talking about, at least for me. All right? So that's going to be the sharing for today. I have to leave a little bit early, so I apologize for departing early, but I wish everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Joe. This is really meaningful. The success can be our downfall, and we must observe deeply. Bodhisattva truly observe deeply, understand that all things are constantly changing, and we should reflect on how things come to be and see that conditions can always change, the impermanence. We may assume success, comfort, or familiar situations will always remain the same. But this is actually a form of delusion. This morning, as I got up, I was on time. I thought the internet will always be on, will be there. As I switched on, the internet was down for a while, and that leads to a bit of anxiety. I'll be a bit late. Brother Joe has to leave early. This is this Brother Joe's meaningful sharing today. Just brought me to reflect on what happened this morning. Thank you so much, Brother Joe. It's going to 2 minutes to 7. If there's any more question to ask, Brother Joe, Master Huang is already here. Thank you so much, Brother Joe. Shall we take a group photo before Brother Joe leaves? We make use of this this short time to take a group photo together. Thank you so much. And I shall take the group photo now. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Brother Joe, I shall keep this reminder. My success is going to be my downfall. Thank you so much. Now we shall call upon, we are so grateful to have Master De Huang from the board to join us today. Master De Huang needs no introduction. Master De Huang is a Malaysian. She will be sharing with us on a very interesting topic. Why do monastics shave their heads? Indeed, a thought-provoking topic. I thought I know, but I don't. I'm looking forward to listen to Master De Huang's sharing. Let us listen with an open heart and deepen our understanding together. Master De Huang, over to you. Master.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, it's another good day here. I think the weather is getting hot in Hualien, especially these days. Yeah, not is the very humid. I think, yeah. But anyway, I think the topic that I'm going to share, for me, I think is quite interesting as well, because I remember before I joined Tzu Chi, when the first started, I get to encounter Tzu Chi in New Zealand, and I was stay with my elder sister and my sister-in-law, their whole family. So when I was, getting more time to join the Tzu Chi activities in New Zealand, so I was like, all the activities and the Tzu Chi song I always play the whole day at my sister's house, and listen to Tzu Chi song and watch the Dai drama, and then was like kind of crazy, because before I joined Tzu Chi, I love to watch the entertainment from Hong Kong or Taiwan, the special, like the singing or all this kind of performance. So, and my brother-in-law, who one day asked me a very tough question. He say, "Why does a living herb require removing hair? But it's very unfair for the Buddha. You look at the Buddha statue that we saw around the world. Why his disciple have to be shaved the head, but accept the Buddha?" So I was thinking, oh, it's very not equal, very unfair. And because I know I was giving the answer for him that we want to remove the so-called the 3,000 affliction, 3,000烦恼, you just want to eliminate. And I think my brother-in-law, he's not still not satisfying for the answer that I'm giving. So I was trying to find out the reason. So through searching from Google, actually there's a saying, the Buddha's hair was actually a symbol left to highlight his sacredness. The scriptures record that the Buddha actually he shaved his head when he became a monk. But as his spiritual practice mature, and there's the so-called prominent, like the cranial protuberance, grow on the top of his head, and his hair transformed into right spiraling. So it's kind of like a deep blue spiral curls, the curling hairs. So these physical characteristics are collectively known as the 32 marks of the monk, used to distinguish the Buddha himself from the ordinary monk, the bhikkhus or bhikkhunis, or the arhat. So it's very kind of a special, because as I mentioned, the sculpt, when people who want to sculpting the Buddha statues, the artists, they often want to give the Buddhas the appearance of curly hair and a top knot, mainly for the following reason to distinguish, to differentiate the Buddha from his disciple, in order to make it easier to believers to identify, easily to visually identify the nobles of the Buddhas and the disciple of very kind of a different way for the spiritual cultivation. one day you will get this kind of very auspicious appearance, and one day similar like this. So, but actually, are there any symbols or the special meaning for the monastics to save our hate, when we renounce our lay life at the first day? So what does the bald hair symbolize? So let's go to this. For what I know, the master was saying, the ancient people that believe that the hair of our people can represent solemnity, but it also can be represent the desires. What kind of desire will represent? Actually, if we do not save our hate, so we might need to spend some time on combing or do our hairstyling it every day to keep it neat and tidy. So therefore, this can help cost us a lot of time, to waste a lot of time. So like I say, the first reason to save our hair is to the explanation for nowadays is to say that you save your hair actually is to express the remover of the worldly troubles, like kind of you eliminate all the afflictions and all those kind of like delusions in our mind as well. So the hair is also called the affliction threads, which means that the hair on the head of all beings represents the afflictions and the desires. So, and the vanity and the feelings in their hearts. What is means that is because we very care about our appearance. So when you want to go out somewhere, you might want to put on makeup, or maybe even not only for girls, for boys as well. They have to make sure they have a very good looking. They spend a lot of time, on and put on gels and and to make it like the hair looks very special, outstanding with other people. So this is like the people who very concerned about their appearance, especially on the head, on top of the body. So therefore, the people will always saying, if you want to engage in the spiritual cultivation on the monastic life, so it's better for us to to remove the hate. And so it's the people were saying the cutting off 3,000 threads of afflictions. So the saving hair, to save our hair, is symbolized to getting rid of those afflictions. So since then, I think we can reform, like kind to start a new life, and then so that we when the first day we becoming Buddhists. I think this is one of the reasons. Is the inner part we remove the hair. Actually, it's kind of like removing, getting rid of all those unnecessary delusions and the afflictions and the desires, so we can spend more time. Yeah, because many people will really special attention on our own hair. So we spending too much on time on this is not necessary. Like Master said, we have to seize our every second, every moment to do good thing. She's always say the personal matter is small, 个人事小, but the worldly matter is a big issue. Is very vital. It's very dangerous. Important for us to take care of those poor people who needs help. So our own personal thing can be leave it behind. I think this is kind of with what we can learn from masters. Yeah. So if you have your hair, you definitely have to spend a lot of time and doing this and that, and do any kind of the makeup every day, not only for our hair But I think for the whole body, you spend too much time on your personal appearance on the body. So this is the reason. And then what happened if you have a long hair, or even for the boys who, very get a long hair as well, but you do not wash it and you do not take care of it. And I tell you, it's very obvious, because monks do not have time to groom their hair. Like Master say, when we have to focus on our spiritual practice, so we definitely do not have any more time to take care of our hair just by every time we wake up, or every time we after taking shower, we have to comb our hair, or we have to blow dry out of hair and spend this kind of things, and to use the electricity, to use the hair dryer to dry out. So it is unnecessary. So but if you do not take care of your hair carefully, so and the people what we so call is like the first will becoming unkept, because you are not tidy, and then it's like unhygiene, because not many people, like as I know, when I was in Malaysia, I would take many times for taking bath, and then especially to wash my hair every day. I definitely have to wash my hair every day, no matter how late it is. So, but in some countries, especially they have 4 seasons, maybe they have been practicing not to wash their hair every day. Or maybe what surprised me was like I found that some people, they they wash their hair a couple of days later. So I think this is quite different from the way of my living. So I think it's very unhygiene. Yeah. And I remember when I was a child, and I did have the lines on my hair, because at that time, at a school, we will have a hair check. So the teacher will different. I don't know. I will be one of it. Oh, for one day. Yeah, but luckily, because of the advance of the shampoo, and like keep doing applying different kind of a medical kind of shampoo to treat my hair. So finally, I'm okay. So this is uh like in Zimbabwe, we know around more than 10 a decade ago, when the brother Zhu, he also tried to help the students, over thousands of students, to shave their head, because the students their head was full of lines or worms, and have some wounds, and to can bring unhygiene, and the health problem is very much more concern during the time for the children students who are attending school, and this, I think this is kind of very important for personal keep neat and tight, and to be simple to take care of. It is very important. So, and like if a monk, like Master say, we need to go among people to interact with people, or maybe in the ancient time, the monks, if they go for begging, they go begging for alms. But if he doesn't take care of his own hair, so this is also considered what we so call is like impolite. Yeah, this is the teaching. So in order to save the time, not wasting time, or with the troubles with taking care of the hair, so I think it's better if you want to cultivate with such a diligence and dedication on Buddhist sutra. So it's better that we should you know uh, symbolize to cut our hair and make it short as possible and clean every day and as very easy. Like me during the summertime, so we shedding, and when it's very easy for me and convenience for me, because I wash. Yeah, I can do two action in one time, because I can use my wet towel and to wash my face, and in the meantime I can very quick way to wipe off, I mean to my hair, so that can make it feel comfortable, yeah, not like sticky so kind of things. So I think it's very convenient, yeah. But I did remember the first day when I renounced my lay life to become monastic, and when we held a ceremony, the renouncing day, as a monk, as a nun. And then I remember, because we are at the center, um, everyone was standing at the center of the manhole, and I was starting to feel like there's a wing was like brewing. I mean, like kind of like behind my head, and I feel very comfortable, like 阵风. I feel like comfortable. So I remember the next day when I attend the chupo, and and I share my experience when the first I was like having short hair, and and I found like very light my hair, not really, like I feel like, oh, the burden is, everything was gone, and I felt like comfortable and very light and easy, and it's like windy and make me feel like, oh, so cool. And then I remember one of the senior master, she respond, give me feedback, and she say, master did give them advice when they become renounced as a monastic. Master say, we shave our head is not for cooling, 就是剃头不是剃两的。Actually, instead, we need to very have to be like mindful on why we want to um, become monastic, and why you want to are willing, you know, to like get rid of all those those people who concern about the appearance and all those things. And I think this is very important. So and for this one, I also want to share some regards the prostration or the bowing in the Buddhist way. So why do Buddhists do prostration? Actually, there's a reason. The Buddhists perform prostration or bow to actually to cultivate our humility, or to express the reverence to the three triple gem, or so-called Samba, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So, and to purify our mind. This is in the way to give the explanation. So rather than a request for favor, it serves as the like a kind of the to express the gratitude as well. So the practice, they give us the four reasons. One of it is to overcoming our ego and pride when we do bowing, with the forehead touching the ground, force you to let go of arrogance, and to reminding us that we are not the center of the universe, so we are not the biggest one. And the second is showing reverence, which means it is a physical gesture of a deep respect for the teachings of the enlightenment and those who have realized them. And the third is to repentance or to purification. Why we do the prostration as a way to acknowledge and clear, to pass the negative action or the thoughts or any single words. So the physical and mental will focus help us. This is the number four, the physical or the mental focus as embodied meditation is like synchronize the body or the speech and the mind. So it's coming to the restless thoughts and promoting mindful awareness. So this is what I get it from the text to mention. But for masters, as we recently everyone was just went through the experience for the bathing day, the Buddha. So this is the way of our old volunteers who paying the homage to the Buddha's feet and purifying one's own mind. So as I know, the Malaysia, either in KL or in Penang, they have a very grand and widespread bathing Buddha ceremony. Over 10,000 or 6,000 people at the stadium, and to let the people, the old people, to celebrate our founders' the birthday by bathing the Buddha. So the bathing the Buddha is a way of paying homage to the Buddha's feet and purifying one's own mind, as I mentioned just now. So when the Buddha was alive, actually, Master say the most respectful way to pay homage to him was to prostrate oneself, touching the Buddha's feet with our one's heads and the forehead, which is called the li for. The foot touching is to expressing the utmost reverence. So the most valued and noble part of the human body, Master mentioned, the most valued and the noble part of the human body is the forehead. And while the lowest part is the sole of the feet, is our, the closest to the ground. So therefore, the most respectful act in the Buddha's time was to pay homage to the lowest part of another body with one's noblest forehead. So this is the way why it's different. We are not using the baby Buddha statue to helping to bathing the Buddha, the statue. Instead, we change the way by foot touching that refer to the Buddha's feet. So this is because, as I say, we human are very concerned about our forehead, our top part. So this is like to getting rid of all our self-ego, any kind of things. So this is also known as the we pay the reverence for the down to the China to spread the Buddha's teaching. I think this is kind of like why we're starting to do this kind of prostration. So this is kind of different. And because I want to share another one, there was like
每年5月佛诞节、母亲节也
wait.
是
So because last week after the celebration of the Mark Siji 60th anniversary, and I was given a chance to go to the Hualien prisons to helping my third time joining the jail's bathing ceremony at prisons. So here, and you can see the inmates. They all with bow hair or maybe with a very short haircut. So I think this is kind of like, as I know, in ancient time in China, people who will shave their hair because they're doing wrong thing. And this is not only because of the punishment, they do have some reason as well. Similar like the Buddhists, when we renounce the day life and we want to shave our head. So now here you take a look and the day and how people pay the reverence and for the bathing the Buddha by the foot touching. Yeah.
每年5月佛诞节、母亲节也是全球慈济日的这一天，在世界各地的慈济志工都会举办浴佛典礼，有的场面盛大而庄严，有的则是小而美，甚至会走进不同的机构。今天我们带您看花莲监狱，在金丝金舍法师跟志工的引领之下，花莲监狱的许多受刑人参加了一场浴佛典礼。对他们来说，这也许看起来是一种宗教仪式，但真正的是内心的一种洗涤。每一个受刑人都希望忏悔自己过往的是非，往前走，能够找到清净的一念心。
天降甘霖，雨水落进高墙，是润泽也是洗涤。 花莲监狱慈济关怀团队在监狱附设正德补校举行浴佛活动。
浴佛节的话，就是可以用每个人的宗教信仰的方式下去祈福。
孩子就来告诉我说：“哎，我们这次可不可以浴佛啊？”他说：“我们当盖久啊啦，我拢已经讲好啊啦。啊，不管什么宗教啊，哈，都用因的方式去祝福就好啊。”
一年一次浴佛的机会，在动作当中重新静下心，也期许自己洗心革面，有所成长。
很多师兄师姐，无论是在浴佛啊，或者是上茶道课的时候，师姐会教我们说：“哎，让我们把眼睛闭起来，然后让我们就是调节自己的呼吸，就好像类似去找自己内心的自己这样子。”
Okay, so the main reason for giving personal haircut or shaving their head is not simply for punishment, but is based on multiple considerations such as the hygiene, security management, or identification and identity the transformation. So the reason because what we so call is like because it's easier for them to clean their short head as well and easy to dry. And also, this is the very more effective in the what we so call for them to in that kind of very narrow space, living in such a very constrained space, so environment. So, and the second reason, shaving head symbolizes cutting off the attachment of family ties. The ancient belief our one's body or hair or skin are given by our parents, and we dare not to have the slightest damage on our any part of body, especially even the single hair. So everything on our body, including hair, is bestowed by our parents. We must take care of it and not damage it. So shaving our head symbolizes cutting off the attachment. So but in the every year when we have the Renounce Day life, so everything on our body, including hair, this is like showing that we disrespectful or unfilial to our parents. So is it really? So but I think because we determined to follow muscles to engage in spiritual cultivation, I think this is the time we let our family know that actually we are not cutting off our relationship with them, but instead we are really want to fully utilize the body, give us the the parents give us such a healthy body so that we can do more good things and to help people. So I think this is the ancient time that we believe we have to value any part of our body, but when we renounce our day life, we can see the monastic to shave their hair is to show determined to cut off the so-called people we were concerned for the family affection, but we get a small love to the great love actually spread to bigger and to make a break with the emotions or the desires and concentrate on cultivation because we want to spend more time for among the people, not only for our family members. So this is the second layers of symbolic meaning. And then the third reason why we shave our head is actually the meaning to getting rid of the worldly bad habits. Now, this is the bad habits is like, people, we have so many different kinds of values of the living habits or attitudes, such as what you can see, the laziness, slackness, ruthlessness, or indifference, or the pride, negligence, and so on. I think this is kind of like what we have to get a very strong determination to get rid of this bad afflictive habits. So once we can remove, and is to just remind ourselves for we know I'm becoming monastic, and now this is like I cannot have this kind of action anymore. So I think this is to remind us to be very quick way to change this kind of bad habit. Of course, I think removing our hair is also let the world know that I'm a monastic, and everyone will look at me with a big eyes, and then want to see what have you done. Just like we look at master or sangren, we learn everything, the action she show us. So this is kind of like she must be our role model, and then I think we also can be the role model to other people as well. So I think this is the third meaning, because people will, the society will monitor our practice in the Buddhist way. Am I can attract people to be Buddhist one day is from our behavior and the attitude. So I think like masters, do we really know the renunciation, the lay life? Of course, they do have so many reasons. So I think maybe in the next time, maybe we can have a little bit touch on do I really very understand the renunciation meanings to me? So I think this is I keep this for the next time when I get a chance and to share. And I think here I end my sharing, and I hope you will get more clear or brief understanding about the reason why we want to celebrate in the Buddhist renunciation day. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for your patience to listen. And again, I always think you guys are very diligent compared to me, and I feel always shame to join you guys, because I think I have to like you really put more effort on my English. Yeah. So anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoy your day. Yeah, and welcome anytime you're back to your board, and we can continue to work the task like come back and do the task at home. Yeah. See you guys next time at the board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master Huang. Always so humble, always our role model, guiding us on this humility. So meaningful talk and so heartfelt, meaningful sharing. This sharing the head in monastic life, and not merely for convenience or comfort, carries very deep spiritual meaning. And Master guided us. This part, the hair is just symbolizes afflictions, many tracks of afflictions, desires, and sharing it means represents letting go of this attachment and reminding us oneself of the purpose of becoming a monastic, that is cultivate diligently and focus on the Dharma. So I thought this is really the true cultivation, is to gradually let go of afflictions and use our time meaningfully to benefit others, because we spend a lot of time taking care of this hair, not just the daily washing or blowing, spending money, making it look good, this appearance, and by the time and money can be used for more meaningful actions. Cảm ơn so much, Master Huang. Is there any question from the floor? If not, we shall move on. We will look forward to Master's next topic on understanding renunciation. Looking forward for that. Because of this time, our next speaker is Brother Jiann is here. We shall go on to our next speaker, Master Huang. Cảm ơn so much. And Brother Jiann will be talking about embracing Suchi Dharma at a global level. Over to you, brother. Brother, can you introduce yourself as well? Because I do not have your personal thing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay, all right, okay. So, beloved Master and then Master Huang and brother and sister, good morning, everyone. So, my name is my Mandarin name is Jiann, or you can just call me JJ. Yeah. So, I am how to say my Tzu affinity is in Malacca because I study in Malacca and I used to be a Tzu in Malacca. So and then currently I'm still based in Malacca as well. Yeah. So today actually very humble, you know, to get an invitation by the team to share about thoughts about Tzu in general. So I was thinking, yeah, maybe I can share about how can we like embrace like Tzu Dharma at the global level. So uh, when setting this topic, right, I was thinking, or maybe because I have some experience, on some of the Tzu volunteering work at the global level. However, I make a twist a little bit, how can we global level as in like our masters global view and global level in how to practice Buddhism and also how to really how to say in our daily life and also push our Tzu mission in general. Okay, all right. So just a very quick introduction about me. So I studied in a bachelor in mechatronic engineering and also master in mechatronic as well. So so you can just call me JJ. So my Tzu path is on youth development, in accompanying like Tzu in Malacca and also helping out some of our Tzu Global Summit every year end of December, right? And also be involved in external partnership and the Tzu UN work at the Asia Pacific region. Yeah, so these are some of my Tzu work in general. Okay, all right. So maybe to kickstart this conversation with everyone online here. So when we talk about how to say the global level, I think it's very important also for us to have a view of a global view and also with the heart of a global village as well. So the picture or this map that you see right now is our master's view on the table. So I believe that everyone knows here that whenever whenever the disaster or maybe whenever master would like to know what happened in other country, so every time master will look at this map on the table, then she will start asking that, so how is the Tzu work has been doing in this local area, or maybe how are the people experiencing now. It can be from disaster, it can be from war, it can be a pandemic, that we have experienced for the past years. So master every time she has a very uh, loving kindness heart to actually care about what's happening globally, will not be fixated only in Taiwan. So I think this also really teach us as a Tzu and also masters a disciple, saying that we do really need to have a heart or maybe have an eyesight of a global view so that we can help more people or relieve the suffering of the people and other sentient beings. Right. So having this global view, I would like to share about the Global Risk Report 2025 here. So this one has been shared by our CEO, CEO Yan, because CEO Yan shared about this global risk report that is published during a World Economic Forum. So this report is not talking about economy. It talks about the risks that we are going to face throughout the year. And then this report itself, it gathered insights from nearly 1,500 global experts from academia, business, government, international community, and civil society. So it's a very holistic, very, how to say, outreach to all age group and also all expertise on what is their not so called prediction, but how do they feel about the coming 2 years and 10 years of the risk. Because it's very important that why do we need to know about risk? If we do not know the risk, how are we going to prepare ourselves to face the challenges, or maybe face the future upcoming thing that will definitely affect our life and also our 自己 work, right? So it's better for us to equip ourselves first, after knowing that the risk that we are going to face, right? And then just to resonate what Brother Joe mentioned earlier on, talking about nothing is permanent. That one we know, but we tend to really think that things we're going to maintain the same all the time. But in the Buddhism teaching, talk about arising, abiding, changing, and also cessation, right? Then it also the same goes to the risk. So I really encourage everyone to just have a very quick read on this risk report. It's only 70 pages long. It's very simplified, how to say, wording that we can catch up very early. So you can just scan the QR code on the top right hand corner if you would like to know more. All right. So the question that they ask to the public is that what will be the 2 year and 10 year period that the likely impact of the following risk. So basically it's like among this, right, among all these challenges that we are facing right now, what has the most severity impact, the heavily impacted one. So as you can see here, in 2 years time, misinformation and disinformation, extreme weather event, and state-based armed conflict are the top three short-term issue that will have a very big severity in the coming 2 years. And then for the next 10 years, then you can see from a very colorful diagram for the short 2 years, and then for a long-term one, then it's all turned to green. So if you notice, the number of environmental is especially highlighted in the 10 years. So in other words, you say that if we do not mitigate this risk, the environmental risk that we have, it will going to impact us for the coming 10 years. It will not be resolved. It's going to get worse, right? So these are some of the, how to say, the highlighted one, like extreme weather, it says the same, natural resource shortages, pollution, so all these things, right? Okay. So now I'm going to, how to say, go into like 2 years impact first, all right? Because 10 years maybe for normal people like us, right, it's very hard to grasp, very hard to, how to say, understand the 10 years impact. Maybe how about we talk about the 2 years first, all right? So when we talk about misinformation and disinformation, misinformation, that means that something that is not true, okay? Disinformation means things that is not true, and then we have how to say, bad intention of spreading it, all right? So some of the misinformation that we see right now is this happened in the US. Hopefully it doesn't happen in Malaysia. Is that lawyer, there's a civil case, so lawyer keep on citing some cases that's prompted by the AI tool that they use, and then these cases are all, how to say, hallucinated. That means self-fabricated. So in the end, you can imagine that I go into the court and then I'm citing some of the previous cases. In the end, it doesn't exist, right? So this has been a very troublesome in the institution itself. And then the other one, I'm not sure whether everyone here has it experienced before. So during COVID time, my mom tell me that, oh, you know that by eating onion and mixed with vinegar, you can actually cure COVID or maybe boost up your immune system. So at that time, I was thinking, really? Like, how can it like work? If that works, then we don't need vaccine anymore, right? So these are the misinformation and disinformation that we are facing now, and also we faced previously during COVID time, right? So then what will be the, how to say, the wisdom that we get from masters teaching? What is the Dharma that we can embrace itself? So I eventually, how to say, link back to our Thai TV, whereby master shared before that reporting the truth. So reporting the truth, that means that whenever we have this misinformation that we get, is either from the media or maybe from people around you. So we should, how to say, not be the we tend to remind ourselves not to be superficial, and but rather deliver into the facts and presenting the true state of human affairs, the true state of the human affair, and also the issue as well, or the things that we heard. And then the next one is very important thing. It's not only that we understand, we know it's not true. For example, the COVID, the onion, right? It's not only that, okay, I understand it's not true, then it's already good enough. But we need to guide and also correct them, but not criticize them. All right. So I think definitely, like dealing with my mom, right? If you criticize her, then she will get offended. Yeah. So it's very hard to say. It's very need to be very like mindful to guide the audience into the right direction and calming people's mind. I think that is very important thing, because of course, my mom, she believes that because it comes from anxiety of COVID, everyone is very scared, right? So I think from this Dharma, passed down by our Dharma teaching by our master, calm people's mind. I think is a very good direction when we try to guide and also correct people that is sharing some misinformation, right? And then the second one of the risk is about extreme weather. We all tend to know that weather is getting more and more unpredictable, and then especially in Malaysia, flash flood is happening quite often, and then the heat wave as well. So in these extreme weather events, I think everyone, how to say, hope everyone, how does it start to practice or maybe believe that switch to a plant-based diet is actually the fastest way to actually tackle climate change, because all the agriculture that we are growing, as well, not agriculture, I mean like livestock as well, the things that we are consuming actually producing a lot of greenhouse gases, from the land use, from deforestation, or to the, how to say, the methane gas or the waste by the livestock itself. So whenever there's a demand, there's always a supply, and then the supply definitely sacrifice a lot of resources, from water to the land use, and also through deforestation as well, right? So but it comes back to the same point that that's why master keeps on asking, encourage everyone to switch to a plant-based diet. But somehow I think that I now actually seldom see that our Tzu event do really like emphasize on the importance of a plant-based diet. But I think if we able to share, or maybe if we have any like activity, I think one of the thing that we can practice is the Four Noble Efforts, 四正勤, okay, in Mandarin. So master share that, okay, so in the Buddhism teaching, it says evil that's already arisen must be cut off quickly. All right, that's the first one. Second, if the evil that's not arisen, then should not be arise. That means we do not let the evil thing or the bad thing to grow even bigger. If we have good deeds that have arisen, then it should be increased more, right? And if the good deeds that have not been arisen, we should be quickly generated or maybe quickly inspired, right? So when we talk about a plant-based diet, it's the same thing as well. If you think that today you have not a fully practice a plant-based diet, so we must do that quickly, all right? But if you are already how to say practice a plant-based diet, we should increase more, isn't it? So I think when we talk about increase, I think it's important for us as how to say, a volunteer, or maybe as a Buddhist practitioner. Practicing plant-based diet is more than, how to say, more than a self health thing. We should actually like bring influence to our family members and also to promote it as well, right? And then The third one is the state-based armed conflict. As we all know, because of this conflict, you can say that all this war happening in Iran, happening in Palestine, is very far from us. But in the end, it do affect us economically and also our livelihood. So far, I think for me myself, I think definitely affected the most is the 200 liter subsidy. Eventually, when now I travel, I will consider alternative way of, okay, maybe I can choose a public transport to travel around, so that I will not use the quota, right? But in the end, state-based armed conflict is a real thing, and then it's how to say, living thing as well. So in the Gulf state, from Gaza to Tehran, so you can see now Palestinian and Iranians are, how to say, having the under the threat of losing their life. Even most of them are children as well, right? So when we talk about state-based armed conflict, so how are we going to ensure that when the risk come, we are equipped ourselves enough to actually reduce, or maybe to prevent this thing going to happen in the future in our region as well. So it comes back to our master's vow when doing 慈济, is about purifying minds, pacifying the society, and working towards a disaster-free world, right? So for me, I think purifying minds is something that not only we can do it ourselves, and also actually to know what is the current state of the, how to say, of what's happening around us. If today something statement come from someone, we can actually guide them. Okay, it links back to our misinformation. So I would like just a really simple sharing that I how to say, regarding this armed conflict, right? I'm one of the, how to say, very senior volunteer. Okay, so he shared to me that, oh, you know what about the war, everything, right? Actually, I'm on the side of Israel. You know, actually, I don't really understand, what is the why the Muslims, they need to be like this, etc., etc. So I was shocked at that time, because the way he conveyed the message is like he's supporting whatever that is bad happening, from genocide, from the war, everything. So, but I do not have the, how to say, 道德勇气, the moral courage to actually to actually guide, to the, how to say, to the rightful mind. But in my heart, I'd say just a very good blessing to him, that okay, hopefully, in Tzu we talk about loving kindness, right? We hope that will not happen into our region, into our place, right? So when talking about these three risks, so it comes back to what masters thinking as well. So all these are the Dharma teaching that we can really implement when we see all these risks, and then we can, at first I say, what are the things that we can equip. So I think the best thing that we can equip ourselves when we face all these challenges is with Dharma. So maybe now it's going to be 8 o'clock, right? So the sky is already very bright right now. Maybe after this sharing, we can step out from our house, we look to the sky, we ask ourselves, are we at the same space? When we talk about we, as in like all of us today in online here, listening this sharing, or maybe other, any volunteer, or maybe any family member that's not in Malaysia, we ask ourselves, are we at the same space? Actually, yes, we do, because we are living in the same earth. And then just like what master's mind, what master's thought as well, is that since we are living in the same space, we do have the, how to say, how to say, is we do need to know what's happening around us, what's happening around the world, and then how can we play our role in order to make the society, or even make the world, a better place to stay, right? From the media that we're sharing, from the news that we are sharing, from the from the Facebook, from any social media, from any news that we are sharing, that we are seeing. It's good for us to share a positive or equip other people as well to have this Dharma knowledge and with the correct information. So this picture is by our Qingyu Sean, and also our Taiwanese team, and also our Malaysian volunteer as well, attended UAE, and also attended some of the, how to say, regional dialogue on faith and religion, right? So I think when we are staying in the same world, we need to have this unconditional loving kindness and the universal compassion to really relieve the suffering that we see. So when having this conversation with other faith leaders, one of the Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders, so he mentioned that today's global challenges exceed what any single religion can face alone. No religion can build a better world by itself, but when religions work together, there is hope. Yeah. So in Buddhism, we equip with the Dharma teaching that we have, we are bringing hope to the society and to the people around us, right? So, and also one thing that doing these good things by Tzu Chi itself is not enough. By our own effort at our community is not really enough. It's better for us to really have good partners, or maybe to recruit, more, inspire more volunteers to join this rank. I definitely believe that after the Buddha bathing ceremony, we do, how to say, engage with many of the public by inviting them to attend for our Buddha bathing ceremony. So through all this event that we are doing, we are trying to inspire more and more people to join our rank, to share this unconditional loving kindness and universal compassion, right? So yeah, so I just would like to wrap up here. So how to say, a very summary for this sharing is that collective goodness from each firefly to create harmonious society. So to all brother and sister, really, how to say, and also to encourage everyone, including myself as well, to continue this bodhisattva path, and with our diligence and with our faith and also belief, we do really hope that when anything happen, and anything bad thing happen, we are the hope, to bring the people, and then to also really wish that this Dharma can be practicing in a global view, in a global perspective. Yeah, thank you. Jiann.
Thank you so much, Brother Gigi, for this, bringing us to this, Brother Gigi from Latvia, for this insightful sharing on global risks and how they may impact our future, our Tzu Chi work. You highlighted the findings from the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report 2025. Yeah, the strong message I got today is reminding us of the truth of impermanence. Nothing will remain the same as we are now. It now seems to be peaceful in KL Selangor, and may not be so in the future. And the importance of knowing this risk is getting prepared. So the few thing that brother has shared about is like the misinformation can lead to misled society, and the climate change that we are seeing, we are experiencing the extreme heat. In Lumbini, the heat was really 41 degrees. Then the way to mitigate it, all the things that Master has been guiding us throughout can be used practically, upholding the truth, report accurately, the TAI-TV, and adopting a plant-based diet, not just for ourselves. And we can do more. The forward effort that brother is trying to link it to our practical use. not just taking care of our health, continue to promote it, the plant-based diet, to reduce this environmental impact and the conflicts that is surrounding us, not in our country, but other country. So this actually reminded us on the importance of purifying our minds. People's mind, if it's deluded, if it's astray, can lead to a lot of disaster. And then promoting peace in the society and praying for a disaster-free world. So ultimately, we are staying in this one earth. We each have a role in making it a better place through our action, the wisdom, the compassion. So, and finally, brother mentioned about this, no single religion can build a better world alone. It's through unity, mutual respect, collective compassion, and that we create a real hope for the future. So, so much on the summary, for your sharing today. Really something to reflect on. So I wonder if there's any question from the floor. Brother Robert, would you like to say something, Brother Robert? Brother Robert has a lot of sends a lot of love on roots to Brother JJ. Over to you, Brother Robert. Brother Robert, I can't hear you. Brother Robert, are you muted or? Can we hear Brother Robert?
No, I think his audio is not connected, even though he's unmute.
Yeah. So we shall wait. Have a problem with your audio, my Brother Robert. We'll wait for Brother Robert. Once you're ready, you can, yeah. Is there any question from the floor? So I was just thinking, brother was mentioning having this courage to make a change. So as individual, how can we, in this context, how can we, as part of Tzu Chi, best cultivate this collective goodness in practical terms to help build a more harmonious society in our daily actions and community work? Brother JJ, do you have something else more to share? How can we, a lot of time that is having this courage to do more is the deterrent factor, I would say. Yeah, then how can we, in practical terms, do more for this harmonious society? It's like something very big. I'm just a firefly, but the only thing is in Tzu Chi, it's a collective effort. I'm reminded that Master always reminds us that it's not one person cannot go far. It's still a collective effort to get this done, and still putting in our effort.
Yeah. Thank you, sister. Yeah, just maybe I'll just add on. But I do believe that not to say like all brother and sister, didn't do much. I think we all do a lot. In Tzu Chi, there are so many things that we are to say very busy. If you are in charge of a functional group, right? Definitely, there are so many things you need to oversee. You need to hands-on execute everything. But maybe I think it's a very kind reminder. Actually, for me especially, sometimes we do enjoy the process, of full through of doing and also on contribute. But it's also important thing that don't forget that, hey, I also need to recruit other people to do the things that can really replace some of my tasks or some of my role. Because like in volunteering in Malacca here especially, sometimes it's very easy to ask someone that you are familiar and also who's very good on that particular task, and then you just ask him to do, and then forever and ever the task will be on this person. And then in the end, actually this task is not really that tough. You can actually empower other people or maybe our other young volunteers to help this to help execute the task. But sometimes I think some of the hurdles that we do really experience that, he's not experienced in Tzu Chi yet. I scared that I'm going to scare him off or scare her off, and then he or she will no longer come to Tzu Chi anymore. So these are the things that we are kind of, how to say, scared. But maybe we need to ask ourselves also, we also come from a journey that we also don't know anything. We also been asked to help out something, then eventually we become Tzu Chi volunteer, and then we are certified commissioner, at our Tzu Chi Bodhisattva path. Yeah, so I think is that, to create a harmonious society, definitely we need more people. Maybe what we can do start is that how are we going to delegate some of our tasks, simple tasks, to other volunteers that can help us out. Yeah, so that is reminder for me, myself as well, when I pay ban and also to lead our young volunteers in Malacca here. Yeah, thank you.
Cảm ơn brother JJ. Sister Chimun has something to say just now. Sister Chimun, would you like to say? Over to you, sister.
Okay. No, okay. Something funny is the first thing, something funny. I think I didn't catch you, Brother JJ, earlier because it was like a little bit soft in the beginning. Something about onions, that you were laughing because your mother tells you something about onion, good for something. And is it old wives' tale? No, actually, I think a lot of things about onions are not old wives' tales, okay? I remember my husband hates onion. He doesn't eat it. He doesn't want to be near onions. But when he had flu, we put a plate of cut onion next to him. And under normal circumstances, he'd rather die than to have that situation. But it actually helped him tremendously. So some things mothers say is correct one, okay? Second thing is I would like to ask Brother JJ is, you have a degree, or rather you have a master's in mechatronics. Does Tzu Chi work support your degree as well in the chosen field? Or you have to abandon that field and totally go into these other activities?
Yes, thank you, sister. Yeah, talking about my degree in in engineering, because in the end I work in Tzu Chi, right? So for the past few years, so it's definitely, uh, uh, life. I think it's a choice, to make when we like to devoted your professional, or maybe your work in Tzu Chi. So definitely engineering is something that you're going to not able to put into full use lah. But definitely my parents have many opinion on that. But it takes time. It takes time for them to get an understanding that, if you are very fortunate enough, you don't need to worry about the financial of the family, or maybe you can take care of yourself. So why not you can just why not you can just work fully in Tzu Chi as a full-time staff. Yeah. So definitely there's I would say sacrifice to make, definitely there is, but in the end gain more when you involved in Tzu Chi work as a staff member. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister.
Brother Robert, are you able to say something now?
Yeah, now I link to my handphone now. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. I think I just want to say a few sentences. I think Brother JJ and just now you also mentioned Brother Sean and all these younger generations of volunteers lah. I think need to bring us across this borderless platform of compassion. I feel of course we know that Tzu Chi transcends race, religion, nationality and culture. I think we are already there. I think we need to so-called upgrade ourselves, in the international stage, of course, in collaboration with United Nations and also with other so-called religious, especially, the recent visit of Brother Sean and the team to see the Pope, So I think embarking on this new platform is important, So for us to bring all this humanitarian diplomacy, and environmental consciousness and social, innovation, to another level. So I think, brother, you are doing a fantastic job. I think your update, I think is timely, in our next 60 years. I think we need to move to another level. Okay, Kanan, so much for your wonderful sharing. Kanan.
Canon, so much. Thank you. Now we are coming to the end. And thank you so much, dear brothers, brothers and sisters, for joining this heartwarming session. And yeah, so now let us now rise to pay homage to the Triple Jiann and our abode masters. First bow, second bow, third bow, the 3 bows for the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the last one to our abode masters. And then may we carry today's Dharma into our daily lives and continue to create blessings for ourselves and others. Wishing everyone a peaceful and joyful weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.